Here's our first battle, and instead of doing what we did for Red Showcase, we're just going to go ahead and use How. May as well, right? So, this is what I did. Use things to How. This setup, with BP Berry, I could have definitely paralyzed them, obviously, with the stun spore and whatnot. But one of the bigger issues is his survivability in this team, because, sadly, free-to-play supports tend to not have the best bulk, unless you're like Skyla or something, or a character that can really buff their defensive stats pretty quickly, nonetheless, while also not impeding their buffs to anything else. Sadly, we had to use Red's max move, mostly for the sync countdown. You could have definitely waited, as long as you paralyzed at least the middle with Barry, you could have waited, used the max move after the sync move, and then potentially quad queued from there, but really it's faster to use the max move, because you are missing out on that little bit of damage from the max move, but from being so early on in the battle, but it doesn't really matter in the end. It's not the biggest difference. It's just quicker to do it this way, and not have to keep resetting to try and get that quad queue. Waste too much time. Best part here is that we're just able to do a bunch of AoE damage. We set the Fairy Zone up here so we can get that buffed up Wild Electroweb there, and KO that Gliscopod so we can get some turn denial. Very, very nice. Thankfully, Red's AoE damage, even despite Sentry Entry, not bad at all. Definitely still really good. I just feel for anyone who wants to try and do this with Red as the sole damage dealer in this team at 1 out of 5. I have fun. Good luck. I feel it would not be the most fun thing in the world. Maybe possible, but I feel it wouldn't be that fun, especially for a precinct clear. So, yeah. There we go, and obviously How's just able to do a ton of great damage. My How's 1 out of 5, by the way, so the fact he's still able to do this, I'm pretty impressed, because a lot of his best utility comes from, well, utility, not damage. So the fact he's able to do this much pretty solid damage is very, very nice, to say the least. And obviously we're able to just defeat Aaron before the heal order. Worst part about Aaron is the heal order. If you can somehow negate it, because I actually got paralysis in one failed run, and he got paralyzed when using the heal order. Still didn't win on that run, sadly, but it was a way to counter it. So if you can find a way to counter it, Aaron's not really the biggest issue in the world. And here we are versus Lucian with the Renegade Cynthia, and obviously the Egg Magneton here. This was the best place to pretty much use it. I could definitely use the Egg Magneton mostly in any situation. It would be pretty useful because we could use it for BP Valerie against Fairy Cynthia, Very Weak Cynthia. We could use it for Bertha with all the Caress physical attackers. Defensive debuffs are just good. But this one was the funnest because we could partner up with Lucian here to activate Smarty Pants for Renegade Cynthia and also get really low physical defense on the enemy, and make use of the half sync countdown parameter to basically just say, hey, you're gonna sync move? Bye. That's essentially what happens here, so yeah. Renegade Cynthia is still really solid on type, obviously. I mean, if she wasn't, I'd be a little scared. Worst problem about Renegade Cynthia is that her options more so hurt her, I guess you could say, with the ability to use physical and special moves. Shadow Ball just sucks. That's one of the biggest, absolute biggest problems, is that Shadow Ball and Shadow Force here, not that great. Shadow Force is a pretty powerful move, but it's 2-turn. Shadow Ball is not really the greatest power move, and it's special in this instance, which is not helpful at all. So they really, obviously we're going to have someone like Vol or whatever with Origin Giratina that's probably going to make use of a buddy move or something to make Shadow Force a lot better, or just something that isn't generic 2-turn Shadow Force or low power Shadow Ball. Ghost types are suffering mostly because of that. Really, like, you got Lunala with its signature move. How many of those are we going to get? You got Oricorio. Again, how many of those are we going to get? And Marshadow. How many of those are we going to get? Ghost needs more options. And here's a setup for not BP Erica, regular Erica. I was thinking about potentially using her for Bertha, but I had a better setup with Dawn for Bertha, so I went ahead and just used Erica here. And I partnered up with Misty for the, gym leader duo, I guess you could say, because they also got their Signa suits in the Kanto villain arc, and then Erica, Brock, and Misty are kind of like trios, because I'm pretty sure those are the opponents you faced in the Extreme Battle for the 4th anniversary. I think so, anyway. But we're able to use Erica here. Mostly, we're literally just for special defense debuffs, and even that's not consistent because special defense, it's a 50% chance. Not the greatest in the world. But we're able to use them to buff up Archie here so he can just nuke away. Make it so we can build up a bunch of points, but where they don't have a lot of health or really a lot of strength, so their defenses aren't that big. So you can just do as much damage with Archie as possible. Pretty much it. Because obviously strength is the easiest way to go about these battles, but even too much strength can be a little overbearing for a lot of characters. So making it as low as you possibly can get really would help out a lot of these characters. That's kind of the biggest jump between these stadiums is more strength. It just means that the power bar gets ever higher. But as you can see, Archie, he's still doing fine. He's still doing fine. I mentioned it later in a battle, but I really hope Archie gets a buff like Maxie got with Courtney. Obviously, it's going to be different because Ground Zone's another 50% multiplier for Maxie. Archie can't get anything else besides like Rain. But hopefully Matt or Shelly can somehow make a big difference and put Archie back on like Maxie's level again. And here we are against Bertha. This is the setup I was talking about earlier, using Striker Dawn. This setup I was going to end up resetting to try and do a little bit more to what I actually wanted, but I went ahead and finished it anyways, just because one small thing surprised me, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. We go ahead and start setting up the defenses with Dawn really quickly so we can, for one, take less damage in overall hits, and for two, obviously build up her her Tough Cookie multiplier. Because obviously Dawn is one of the more notorious characters to actually have good damage as support. Obviously now Iono is pretty much the, I guess, spotlight for that, and Neo Champion Blue and whatnot, and Neo Champion B, they kind of had their roles as well. But Dawn was like the original. She has Tough Cookie and 2 nuke multipliers that are up to 100% in total multiplier, well, 100% each, so 200% in total multipliers. And she's got actual attacking stats. Relatively good attacking stats at least, so yeah, we'll use Dawn's nuke here. Sadly, we don't get to end with Dawn's nuke, because you'll see what I mean in a second, but I mean, whatever. It's not the worst thing in the world. She's got, if you don't know, she's got Pecking Order and Haymaker as her total multipliers, so pretty good multipliers and pretty easy to activate too. That's why we got Razor Leaf with Mixed Red over here to debuff attack, as well as have Crit Strike 9, so we can actually do damage with it. Pretty good damage from C-Bomb, by the way. I mean, come on. Pretty good for a support. But here's what surprised me. We use this max move with Red, mostly just to set up grassy terrain and get a little bit of countdown. It ends up killing. I was like, huh? Didn't expect that, but I did pick up max double down and it's super effective, so it makes sense it would do that much damage, but I still didn't expect it. And then obviously we just KO him here. I wanted to finish off with Dawn's nuke, but, well, we end up just like doing too much damage, so yeah, goodbye. Yeah, goodbye, game. Yeah, I didn't expect the Mixed Red nuke to max move to KO. If I knew it was going to do that, I would have targeted one of the sides instead, just so we could have got the KO on that side, turned denial, whatnot, and then nuked the middle. Been a little bit more smooth, I guess you could say, but really, it works. I was surprised. Whatever. Well, there you go. There's the win with Dawn. Let's move on and finish off here with Cynthia and Courtney. And here we are versus Cynthia to finish things off with the Courtney and Maxie setup. Very generic, sure, but still, whatever. As I said prior in the Archie bit with Erica as the randomized character, I really hope that Archie ends up getting a character that can put him back on Maxie's level. Not that either of them are like exceptional or whatever, but as you can see here, Maxie's able to easily, with these partners of course, clear this stage with no problem. Thankfully, Courtney's nuke's solid, Morty's obviously cracked and whatnot, and Max is able to do really solid DPS. That's the best thing about these characters, is that despite being 2.5 years old, they're still able to put in decent work, especially because of their utility with being able to set up Sun/Rain and extend it, which is very, very nice. I just hope that Archie can get back on Max's level. He's obviously got great partners with like Signature Chris, Neo Champion Caleb, obviously the water partners with Neo Champion Serena and her rebuff, all of that, but I kind of wanted to just be with her, his admin, right? Whether it be Matt or Shelly, I don't really care. Probably Matt, because Courtney's mirror would be Matt, while Tabitha's is Shelly, and vice versa. But I really do hope that they can kind of get back to equal footing, so to speak, because Maxie just got that 50% buff with Ground Zone. You can argue Archie's better because Water is an overall stronger type, so he's got more partners to help out with extended Rain, or more partners like Signature Chris for special moves next. Whatever it may be, but I think just arguable for argument's sake, Maxie's a little bit higher, just overall strength. Sun is still useful, whatever, right? Plus he helps out Ground, which has a lot less characters, so be able to help out that type is a little bit more valuable, but it really just depends on how you want to view it. Also, Courtney Duke, goodbye. As I said before, or I don't think I said it before yet, but I only had Courtney at 2 out of 5 until literally before my Thunderbolt Red summons. That was it. Once I got to Thunderbolt Red's summons, I pulled a copy and got her to 3 out of 5, and then I pulled a copy a few days later and got her to 4 out of 5. Because fucking luck, I guess. Stuck at 2 out of 5 for so long, and then I finally got her to 4 out of 5. Yeah, okay. I've been wanting to use Courtney's nuke for quite a while, because I had her ever since release. That's why she's EX'd. I would never probably have EX'd her otherwise, honestly, but whatever. That was the Stadium randomizer battles. Again, let me know if you like these and whatnot down in the comments. I'll be sure to do more of them if they get enough support. And yeah, have a good day. I'll see you all later.